Yeah, so good evening, friends. Welcome to another interview preparation session. We'll be going through some basic Python questions today. So let me write it down, Python. Okay, so let's start. Let's take the first question. Yeah, so what are the key features of Python? So friends, if you know the answer, you can type in the chat. Okay, so first of all, it is a general purpose language. So what general purpose means is it has a wide variety, uh, uh, means wide field in which it can be used. So it can be used in maths and statistics also, in scientific uh, experimentation also, and in engineering also, in finance also. So Python has wide use when we consider. So next point is it is an interpreted language. Interpreted. So basically what it means is there is no need to be compiled before running the code. So it can be run instantaneously. So if we write a line of code, we can run it instantly. Then third point is it is a dynamically typed language. So what does dynamically typed means? Means you don't have to state the variable type. It will decide on its own. So if we write like a, suppose a is a variable, if we write a equals to 2, then it will take it means by default as an integer. And if we give an if we give a string value, it will automatically take the data type as string. Then we have it is object oriented. Also, it can be function oriented. And easy to read. So there are basically many other features. we'll keep it up to this only. Okay, then next question. What is PEP in Python? So friends, what does PEP stand for in Python? Okay, so in Python, PEP stands for Python Enhancement Proposal. So what is this PEP? So PEP basically gives us a set of rules that specify how to format the Python code for maximum readability. Okay, so coming to the next question. What are the benefits of Python over other languages, over others? So benefits, some points will be overlapped with these key features. Yeah, we can say that it is function and object oriented. Yeah, correct, Ashish. This is one of the point. It is easy to understand. Basically, we can say it is, yeah, like in English. Okay, so yeah. So first point, it is easy to use. Easy to use means Python is considered a high level language. High level languages are basically, we can say, which are easy to read, write, and learn. It is basically like writing means reading in English. Then it is interpreted. So the compilation basically is not done. Yeah, interpretable. Correct, Ashish. Then third, dynamically typed. So basically, we don't have to define every variable before assigning it a value. It decides according to the value. Then it is free. Yeah. So basically, it is free and also open source. Yeah. Then it has extensive support for libraries. So basically, it supports third-party libraries. So using these libraries, we can means we have access to every problems that can be solved using Python. Then next we can say portable. Yeah, Subham. Correct. Community support. Yeah, so basically portable means if I have a system with OS Windows, and if another person has a system with OS Mac OS, then I can means the code which I write in Windows can easily run on the other Mac OS also. So basically that is what portability in here means. And last point, it provides more functionality with less coding. So basically Python, we don't have to write a lot of code to do a small thing. Like in C, C++, we had to write a code for just adding two numbers. We had to write means at least a bunch of lines we have to write. But in this, we can directly just write it as we write in the calculator, and it will run basically. Okay, so next question. What are Python namespaces? Okay, so what are Python namespaces? Okay, so namespace is basically a naming convention used to make sure that names are unique to avoid naming conflicts. So it basically is like a dictionary in which the name is the key and the object which the name refers to is the value. So there are basically four namespaces. built-in namespace. Then we have global namespace. Then we have enclosing namespace. Then we have local namespace. So built-in name space are all those objects which are built in Python. Yes, yes, you are correct. So a namespace basically says the names should be unique. Okay, so global namespaces are those objects which are created in the main program, and enclosing namespaces are those which are created in the higher level or outer function. Means if we have we are defining classes or functions inside. So global are in the main program, enclosing are in the higher level or outer function, and local namespaces are those which are defined in the inner function, means inside of a function. Okay, so coming to the next question. So what are decorators? Okay, so decorators are basically used to add some design or patterns into a function without basically changing its structure, main structure. Yeah, yeah, actually, Ashish, correct. So basically, we use the at symbol before a decorator to define it. Yeah, you can think of decorator as a wrapper above the main function. Okay, so coming to next, what are dict and list comprehension? So what are dictionary and list comprehension? Yeah, correct, Ashish. So basically, the comprehensions are just another way to define dictionary and list, but in a single line. Yeah, yeah, Ashish, correct. Yeah, Shubham, you are also correct. So we define the list or dictionary in a single line. Okay, so next. So what are the common built-in data types in Python? Yeah, she's correct. So let's go through them one by one. Okay, so first we have numbers. So in numbers, we have integers, floats, and complex numbers. Then we have list. Uh, yeah, you people are correct. Then we have tuple, then string, set, dictionary, then boolean. Okay, so coming to the next one. So what is the difference between .py and .pyc? Okay, so basically we must first know what is a .pyc file. So when we run a program in Python, so what happens? Yeah, so when we run a code in Python, so basically it has an Python virtual machine which converts the instructions into a bytecode format, which is easily readable by the Python. So basically, this is that format, PYC, bytecode format, which is easily readable by the Python. So .py files are the mainly Python code files or Python source code files, we can say. And .pyc files are those files which contain the bytecode of the Python files. So they are created when the code is imported from some other source, and because it is means small in size bytecode, so it can be transferred easily and it saves time. So basically that is mainly the difference. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So what is slicing in Python? Okay, so slicing is an operation which is used to access parts of sequences like list, tuples, or strings. Yeah, must first, you're correct. So basically, we slice a part of the list, tuples, or strings using this slicing function. So basically, slice has a syntax something like this. Suppose we are doing, it has start, then stop, then step size. So basically start is the starting index, stop is the stopping index, and step, if we want to choose alternate values or we want to choose means in steps, then you can use steps also. Okay, so coming to the next, what are literals? What are literals in Python? Yeah, so okay. So literal is nothing but a Python source code which represents a fixed value for primitive data types. So primitive data types like we have string, character, numerical, boolean, all those. So it basically a source Python source code which represents fixed value for primitive data types. So we have here different types of literals. We have string literals. So basically, string literals are nothing but strings only. We have character literals. Which are basically just one letter, one character enclosed in a call this. String literals are words. Then we have numerical literals, numeric literals. So basically they are numbers. Then we have Boolean literals. Which are basically true or false. Okay, so coming to the next one, how do we how do we combine data frames in Python? Yeah, correct. So we can use concat. Ashish, you are correct. So basically, we have two methods. One which is Ashish has already written. One is using concat function. Other is using join function. So using concat, we can, yeah, merge. We can also say merge. So basically these two. Okay, so next, how is memory managed in Python? Yeah, Ashish, you are correct. So basically, we have three things which combinedly manage our memory in Python. So first we have, as Ashish already has written, heap space, or we can also say Python private heap space. So it contains all the objects and data structures. And the user doesn't have access to this. The Python interpreter has access to this one. Then we have Python memory manager. So it's basically it allocates heap space to Python objects. This manages the means who to allocate which space. Then we also have an inbuilt garbage collector. So you know what is the use of a garbage collector? It deletes all the redundant data and recycles all the unused memory so that it can be used for heap space. Okay, so next, what are global and local variables? Okay, so the variables which are declared outside of a function is we can call it as a global variables. Yeah, Ashish, you are correct. And local variables are those which are declared inside a function and can only be used inside that function only. And if we try to access it outside of the function, it will throw us an error, basically. Okay, so next question. What will be the output of this? So I declared apple equals to 3, means apple is an integer whose value is 3. Then I'm printing it. I have using a name placeholder, means placeholder colon D, apples, then format apple. So what will be the output of this? Okay, 3, not sure also. So basically this was a trick question. So you can see apple has a small l. Yeah, apple has a small l, but when we write apple here, we have printed a capital L. So basically this is to show that Python is case sensitive. So it will throw us an error as we have not defined apple before. So if we write small l here, then it will give us the output which Ashish has already, yeah, Akshay, correct. So if we write small l here, then we will get, I have 3 apples. So basically this was means to show that Python is case sensitive. Okay, so coming to the next one. Is indentation required in Python? Yeah. So indentation is necessary when we are, yeah, when we are specifying a block of code. Basically, we can say block of code is needed to be specified within loops or classes or functions. So why when we do that, we have to indent the code so that Python means sees it as the block of code inside that function. If proper indentation is not given, it will throw us an error. Yeah, correct, Akshay, Asish. Sorry. Uh, it will throw us an indentation error. Okay, so next one. So what is the difference between array and list? Yes, is correct. So yeah, so basically, array is a homogeneous data type of sequence, and list we can use heterogeneous data types also. And arrays basically are fast because it has a specified memory allocations, but list uh, can have variable memory allocations, so it is slower. So operation done on array is faster than list. Yeah, so basically you have mentioned everything. Okay, what are functions in Python? And what do we use to identify it? So basically here we are talking about user defined functions. So what are user defined functions in Python, and what do we use to identify it? Yeah, sure, correct. So basically I was asking about user defined only. So user defined functions are those which is only uh, executed when it is called upon. And yeah, it can be used again and again whenever it is called, it is executed. And we can identify it as it uses the keyword def. So we start every user defined function with this def. Okay, next, what is init underscore in it? Yeah, so Ashish, you're correct. So init, yeah, init is a method or constructor, you can say, in Python. So this is automatically called to allocate memory whenever we create a new object or instance, or we call it, and all classes are having this init method inside it. Yeah, correct, Ashish. Yeah, so coming to the next, what is a lambda function? Yes, correct. So lambda function, also known as anonymous function, is a function that can have any number of parameters, but it can have only one statement. Yeah, correct, Akshay. Yeah, so basically, it is a nameless function. So we don't initialize it with a df keyword. Okay, so coming to the next question, what are break, continue, and pass? Yes, is correct. Okay, so break, let me write it. Break is used to terminate the loop. Yeah, correct. So break is used to terminate the loop, means the loop won't continue. It will come out of the loop. And continue is used to break that certain iteration. It will terminate that certain iteration and go to the next iteration. Whereas pass is basically used to skip the function or whatever it is there in the pass keyword. Yeah, Ashish, you are correct. Akshay, you are also correct. Okay, so basically you know. Okay, so another programming question. So if we means write any array, suppose we are having array and we put something like this after it, then what happens basically? Or we can say, what does this do? Yeah, correct. So basically this is uh, the code for reversing any sequence. Okay, so next, how can you randomize items of a list in place? How can you? Yeah, sure, correct. It will reverse strings also. So how can you randomize the items of a list in place? Yeah, I'm asking about shuffling only. Means the I want the items to be shuffled. Yeah, so Ashish has given us the correct answer. So we can use shuffle function. Yeah, it is in the random library, correct? Yeah, so friends, I think it is time. So we'll be closing it here today, and let's meet again. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.